Would you really want to win the lottery? Do you think it really would be the best choice for you? Well, in today's video, we're gonna find out. Hey family, welcome back to my channel. My name is Matt. If you're new here, welcome. If you're a returning family member, thank you. Guys, remember my Instagram's linked down below. Go follow me over there, and let's get into this video. Guys, so I'm back. It's been a journey. So the last couple weeks, school has been very overwhelming. Work, school, going to the gym, social life, all that stuff. I have not had a chance to film. But luckily, in the summertime, when I had more free time, I was filming like crazy, like 4 or 5 videos a day. So I have a good amount stockpiled up, so they're just kind of recurring right now because I already have them, pre-filmed. And I went down to 1 video a week right now just because I'm so busy with school, work, YouTube, gym, friends, everything. It's a lot. It's a lot of things going on in my life. So I decided to say, hey, I'm just gonna do 1 video a week for now and keep going. And then I think what I'm gonna do though is I'm gonna splash some 2 videos in there some weeks. So I'm gonna like splash a video here, a video there on a Wednesday, because usually it was Wednesday and Sunday. Now right now it's just Sunday. But some weeks will be a video on Wednesday. I know you guys are so excited to see them all. I know. My 72 views. Went from 38 to 72, so not bad. Anyways, yeah, so, life's been busy, been harder to film, but I'm excited to film. This is the first time I filmed in like a couple weeks, so this is nice. You guys will see this, in the future. But that's exciting, just a life update for you. And let's get into this video about the lottery. So guys, now we all think, hey, I'd love to be a billionaire, a millionaire. I'd love to win the lottery. I won't have to work anymore. I can just do whatever I want, and etc, etc, etc. Now, this video has been floating around for a while on YouTube. I've always wanted to do a review video on it, right? And it says why winning the lottery is the worst thing that can happen to you. So it's very contradicting to the status quo of the lottery and money and wealth and all that fun stuff. But it just shows the other side of actually winning the lottery, and I thought it was really cool, so I've always wanted to do the video on it, and here we are today. It's a reaction video. I love it. I'm excited for it, and this is a reaction video on why winning the lottery is the worst thing that can happen to you. Now, quick thing. This channel that we're doing right now, we're overviewing. Usually we do Millennial Monies, but today we're doing a different channel. This one is called The Infographic Show. So I'll put a little screen capture of the channel right here, what it looks like, the Infographic Show. Pretty cool show. I've watched quite a few of their videos. They have a lot of subscribers, 10.7 million. Wow, they're a pretty big channel. Lots of videos. This particular video has over 9 million views on it, so crazy, so pretty popular. So let's get into it. Without further ado, here we are. Let's go. Mostly animated, so they're kind of cool. We got a little guy right here, a little wishing well, Remember those as a kid?
No doubt you've all had the conversation with your friends about what you do if you won the lottery, or how much you'd give away to family and friends. How many problems might that cause? Or would you just spend, and live a life of selfish luxury? According to CNN Money, the biggest lottery win ever was $1.586 billion.
Okay guys, so the biggest lottery win ever, $1.586 billion. Wow, that's a lot of money. Wow.
It was divided between 3 people. A year later, in 2017, one woman scooped $758.7 million.
Okay, so it was divided by 3 people. That makes a little bit more sense.
And she decided to take the lump sum of $480.5.
Oh, that's a big thing on the lottery. I think a lot of people don't know this, but you can either do a lump sum or you can actually do payments. So see how it says win $758 million. She took the lump sum. That's the smarter move because I'd rather just get the money now and then invest it instead of just getting it over time because it's actually less money. And you don't know how long you're going to live for. So you might not live long enough to get all the money. So I'd just take the lump sum and yeah.
If you don't know, you can take your win divided over a number of years or all at once. Sounds great, but tell us what you think about that after this episode of The Infographic Show, when winning the lottery was a horrible curse. You may have already seen the documentaries in which lottery winners find themselves surrounded by cunning relatives and friends suddenly emerging from the past, all wanting a piece of the pie. You'll know how it can tear families apart, which often sounds like a tale of biblical greed. These are sad stories for sure. The last one might even bring a tear to your eye. 10. Return of the Killer Lover. Aged 42, Doris Murray might have thought she was the luckiest woman alive when she picked up $5 million after winning the Georgia lottery in 2007. It said her plan was to start a trust fund for her grandchildren. But Murray only got to live with her winnings 1 year as her ex-boyfriend came back on the scene begging. She wasn't interested in getting back with him or sharing cash with him, and so he stabbed her to death.
Dang, so she won $5 million and her ex-boyfriend killed her. Ouch. Not a good way to go out.
Arrested soon after. A lose-lose situation, which we see is often the case with lottery greed. 9. A murderer in the family. A guy called Jeffrey Dampier had a similar fate, except this time it was family with blood on their hands. 39-year-old Dampier was over the moon when he won $20 million in 1996, and it's reported that he wasn't stingy either, treating family and friends with his cash. His sister-in-law and her boyfriend got the idea to take Dampier's winnings, and together they kidnapped him and then shot him in the head. The pair were soon arrested. Dampier's widow was later asked what winning the lottery had done for her husband. "I think it's a curse," she replied. 8. Don't trust anyone. In 2009, a man with a great name, Abraham Shakespeare, won $30 million in the Florida lottery when he was 42 years old. The former laborer didn't spend big at first, buying just a Nissan Altima and a Rolex watch. According to reports, he was constantly harassed by people who wanted some of his cash. He once told his brother, "I'd have been better off broke. I thought all these people were my friends, but then I realized all they want is just money." And it got worse. He went missing and was later found buried under someone's backyard. The killer was a woman he'd befriended who had told him she'd help him with his too much money problems. Her name was Dorsey D.D. Moore, and she's currently serving a long prison sentence for first-degree murder. 7. Drinking to the grave. It's happened numerous times when winners have been murdered for their money. All the reports of this happening were in the USA, but self-destruction, well, that's universal. Take the case of Brit Keith Gow, who won £9 million, about $12 million at today's rates, in 2005. Gow got straight down to the business of spending, betting big on soccer, horse racing, and apparently drinking himself to oblivion. He wasn't the brightest of lucky people and got scammed out close to $1 million after giving it to some shady guy to invest. He not only ended up selling everything he'd bought, including racehorses, a top-of-the-line BMW, his executive box at Aston Villa Football Club, and a large country villa, but he got into money troubles. He died of a heart attack, and financial problems and booze were to blame. His friend...
Dang, so this guy died from a heart attack, and it was because he drank too much and just had financial problems. I think the point of this video that I want you guys to understand is that just because you get more money doesn't mean it solves all your problems. It helps, it does help, and it does solve some problems, but it creates new problems, and a lot of people will come to you and be like, "Oh, like I want your money." So you got to say to yourself, the way to actually become wealthy and actually get some money is by actually creating it yourself, not trying to rely on the lottery, because the odds of you winning the lottery are like 100 to like a bazillion, it's whatever. It's like 1 in a bazillion or whatever. So, whatever. Your odds are not that great, so you don't want to do it, and, it is what it is.
Said the lottery virtually killed him. Winning the money was the worst thing that happened to him. "It's very sad," he told one friend. 6. Taking your own life. Then there's the story of Billy Bob Harrell, who won $31 million in the Texan lottery in 1997. He was followed around like many others by people with their hands out looking for some of his winnings.
I think that's the other issue, is it's public. So I don't think in most situations you can say private while winning the lottery, but it's better because if no one knows, you don't have to worry about people coming to ask you for money. But if everybody knows that you got some money now and you got a couple $1 million or $30 million, it's going to be tough because everybody's going to want a piece.
Hide the fact that he was rich, though. It got so much for the poor guy that he moved and changed his phone number. He also made some terrible financial decisions, and things got worse when he got divorced. It seems it all got too much, and 2 years after he won, still with money in the bank, he put a gun to his own head. Prior to taking his own life, he said, "Winning the lottery is the worst thing that ever happened to me." 5. Losing everything you need. Another case was the curse of Jack Whitaker, a West Virginian who won a staggering $315 million in 2002. He wasn't too careful with his cash, having almost $500,000 stolen from his car where he kept a money-loaded...
Well, that's not good. You shouldn't keep $500,000 in cash on you guys. Don't do that. Don't do that.
case. He later had another $200,000 stolen in a similar way. Then, he was hit by grief after losing his granddaughter to a drug overdose, and then her mother, his daughter, died 2 years later from a drug overdose. They'd both been spending his fortune for him. My granddaughter is dead because of the money. She was the shining star of my life, and she was what it was all about for me, he told the press. Incredibly, years later, he said he had nothing left, and was a daughter and a granddaughter down. I wish that we tore the ticket up, he said in an interview. 4. Too much, too young. Over in Scotland, a wee lad of 17 called Stuart Donnelly won the lottery in 1997. Not a good year for lottery winners, it seems, and talked about the pressure of being rich. He once told the newspaper that he was scared to leave the house. It was very hard to deal with all the attention I got. I even had people camping outside my house. It put a huge strain on me and my family. He was found dead in his luxury home when he was 29. It's thought he died of natural causes, but the press speculates the lottery win played a part in his demise. 3. Back to the trailer park. Here's another story of rags to riches and back to rags. Evelyn Basehor won $3.9 million back in 1985, but she had a taste for gambling. In 2000, she was back in the trailer park, saying she'd gambled all her money away. I won the American dream, but I lost it too. It was a very hard fall. It's called rock bottom, she said. 2. Thug life. Back in the UK, there's a man by the name Michael Carroll, called a lottery lout by the press, which kinda means lottery thug. He even called himself King of Chavs. What is a chav? That's a long story, but we guess you could say a chav is a young hoodlum, but more of a white trash type of hoodlum. Anyway, this young delinquent won a massive £9.7 million in the UK lottery in 2002. At the time of his win, when he was just 19, he was working as a binman or trash collector and was still wearing an electronic tag so the cops could keep an eye on him. Winning didn't stop him from getting in trouble with the police. 10 years later, and all the money was gone on what he said was tons of drugs, lots of gambling, and thousands of prostitutes. We're not sure how he or his poor lungs and brain managed it, but he said he had a $2,300 a day crack cocaine habit. What did he have to say about his rise and fall? The party has ended, and it's back to reality. I haven't got 2 pennies to rub together, and that's the way I like it. I find it easier to live off 42 pounds dole than $1 million. Dole means unemployment benefits. He couldn't get away from crime or criminals either. As his money was running out, some blackmailers slit the throats of 5 of his dogs and basically ran him out of town. But not before he paid them over $150,000. 1. A mortal loss. But we'll leave you with the story of all stories, even though we're not sure you can call it a curse. In Thailand, the lottery is serious business for many. It's a way out of poverty for some who don't have many options in life. People make merit at temples and pray for the winning numbers. Superstitious folks get exploited by seers who sell the right numbers. People see winning numbers in dreams, or if someone has, say, a strange-looking fruit growing in their garden, people will queue to pray to it and hope it gives them lottery luck. The numbers might even appear on the license plates of crashed vehicles. A ghost may even whisper the winning numbers in someone's ear. So yeah, it's serious alright. So serious that in 2018, a man called Jirawat Pongfan was absolutely delighted when he found out he had the winning numbers for the lottery and was about to collect $1.8 million. The 42-year-old threw a party and got really drunk, only to wake up and not be able to find his winning tickets. It's said he became very depressed after that and wasn't even able to work. He then shot himself in the head. His suicide note read, "I'm really sorry. Please don't bully my family. I did win the lottery prize." Apparently, the tickets were never found and no one claimed the prize. After hearing all this, we guess you're thinking you'd be totally different. Are we right? How would you deal with the cash explosion to ensure you didn't become yet another person cursed by a lottery win?
So guys, there it is. Lottery winnings is not all it's cracked up to be, just saying. In that video, it talked about those situations, tragic situations where people passed away from the lottery. They either got killed or they killed themselves, and it was so sad. Because guys, the secret of wealth is if you do not have the disciplines and the mindset and the knowledge about how to create wealth and gain wealth and keep wealth, then if you just get it, you're gonna lose it, no matter what. Because you're just gonna spend it all. You still have your broken mindset, even though the money came. The only thing that changed was that you have the paper now. It's just paper. The knowledge, the habit, the discipline is more important than just having the paper. If you create the knowledge, the discipline, and the habits, then it'll create wealth either way. But if you just get the wealth without the other three, it doesn't end well, as you can see. So I think the thing to take away from this video is, just because you get money doesn't mean you're gonna get rich. If your mindset's not rich, just because you have money doesn't mean you're rich. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Just because you have the money doesn't mean you're rich. It's your mindset. You become rich far before the money comes in your bank account if you actually really build wealth. And that's obviously one of the big purposes of this channel, to help you build wealth, health, wealth, love, and happiness. I always say it. But I've always been interested in this video, seen it floating around, and there it is. We got it done.